What's going on, everybody? Organic portals, soulless beings. 84 here. Yeah, I subscribe to Left Side of the Brain YouTube channel, and I advise subscribing to his channel. He's always talking about getting more subscribers, but yeah, we're talking about SoulCalibur right now, and I don't know. I normally just talk about myself and what's been going on. Trying to keep it somewhat brief. I've been playing Shenmue 1 and 2, just Shenmue 1 on the collection. But yeah, I'm at the point where I'm at the harbor. I'm looking for jobs. I'm at the Arbor Day Foundation looking for harbor jobs. And I finished reading The Manipulated Man. I finished reading that. This one was really kind of blunt and to the point. If you're a female, which nobody on this channel is a female, but females reading this would be really offended. And but this one, also written by a female, is a whole lot more palatable, a little bit more digestible. Men on Strike. I advise this if you have semi-awake people in your family that are not organic portals, then get them a copy of this. But I was looking at Left Side of the Brain's video, most current one, and he was talking about how just lose all hope, just drop hope in trying to be hopeful for things getting better, or like expecting people to just do anything. Because as a MGTOW, I've noticed like one point of contention with me is the fact that I've always had to establish and maintain interactions and relationships with, especially females. Girlfriends or not, just family or anything, just anything dealing with females is. I was the one doing most of the hard work, just trying to send them letters, calling them, texting them. I've noticed that I was putting in more effort than they were putting back, and Left Side of the Brain talks about how females are organic portals because they were born into that. Like, most females are organic portals because their vagina is a portal where they give birth to people, and they want men in their lives. Like, they only want to be with men with low character qualities that are a part of this earthly system. Like, men who talk about spiritual things or like how things should be, and they talk about ideas and concepts. Women don't have time for that. They don't want that. So most females are organic portals, and a lot of men are organic portals too. They're just, I don't know. It's just like Left Side of the Brain's YouTube channel is just very insightful and stuff. And I agree with that, man. It's just like, whether or not you want to agree with soulless beings or anything, or like trying to say that some people don't have souls and some people have more of a soul or whatever, it's just an interesting thing because people are not able to talk about certain things. I think certain people are not actually not physically able to have higher mental faculties because in their early development, they just didn't have neurons go together like they should have. And I don't know, I don't think I'm alone in the fact that I'm discontent that things are not like it should be. Right? I think I grew up knowing that, hey, things are not really run the way they should be, ideally. I'm a very idealistic person. That's why I get so upset when people don't rise to the occasion or do what's right. You know what I mean? Like, I get frustrated, but you're only going to frustrate yourself when you have expectations. So I'm trying to like get into that monk mode where you lower your expectations. That's one of the keys to happiness. Like, there's staying busy. That's the key to happiness. And then there's lowering your expectations. So there's that. And yeah, I've been playing Shenmue 1 and 2, just playing it. I finished these 2 books, like I said. And what else was I going to say? I'm just going to like record some intros right now. And there's that. Oh, I also got a scale. I went to Walmart and I got the most expensive scale they had. This one was like 40 some dollars. It was like, yeah, it was like $40. And I picked this one up. It has all these features, but I'm just gonna like use it just as a regular scale. But I'm getting back on the horse because like I gained a little bit of weight. I was like 167 or something like that. Some of that was water weight, and then I fasted for a day, and then now I'm like 150. Yeah, 159.7. So I'm getting back on track with that. And yeah, you can tell like I look at my cheeks when I'm doing these videos, or like I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm like, yeah, it's so crazy the difference 10 pounds does, and reversing the damage from all those little Debbie, I want to say snack cakes, but they're nutty bars. And I think we all have our guilty pleasures. I was thinking about all those weird Oreo flavors because they got some new ones. They got those like Lay's chips that they have all those different flavors too, and I'm kind of a sucker for trying out different flavors. I just want to do that, but yeah. So that's a little bit about me right now. I just haven't been. I don't know. I kind of beat myself up for not uploading, but I upload pretty frequent. I upload a lot more than some people do. So, but SoulCalibur. We're going to talk about SoulCalibur right now. Did I already show the overlays? I don't know, but I already took pictures of like 4 different games. And I don't really see the point of taking out my arcade stick. I think I've done enough reviews where I took out my arcade stick just to kind of play with that, but I feel like I can pull off moves better with the regular controller. I probably need to swap out my plain white controller. This is just there's a part on the cord that's kind of frayed, and it still works, so I just play it just as a throwaway, just in case I accidentally drop it. I'm not going to get too upset. And for that point, I probably need to put in a different rumble pack, because if I do drop this, I'm more worried for the rumble pack than the actual controller. And I just have like a blue VMU, but I've noticed that blue controllers are more rare right now. For some reason, I didn't think that they would ever become rare. I thought they were one of the more common ones, but hands down, the white controller is the most common. And I think the Tremor Pack, Rumble Pack, is probably the most common Rumble Pack. Those Mad Catz ones are actually more rare, I believe, from my standpoint. The official one is more rare than the Tremor Pack, I think. Performance brand. What else is there to say? This is a fighting game. It's a good one. It's arguably one of the best. You guys already know, if you look at my channel, that I like Third Strike a whole lot. Street Fighter Third Strike, I think it's like the best Street Fighter game on the Dreamcast. And I also like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Plasma Sword and some of those more obscure ones that I believe needs a little bit more love and attention, kind of like Project Justice. I like that one as well. But the Dreamcast just has like a really good golden gem of a game right here, and it's just worthy of having along the whole rogue gallery of fighting games on the Sega Dreamcast. It's just an excellent polished game. This is a showcase game. This is a game that you just play. I believe people played this on fighting tournaments. Like, people played this on the Dreamcast like years after the Dreamcast was, considered a failure, quote unquote. But this is a long enough intro. But this is my channel, and I can do this, and I can talk about organic portals and soulless beings. We can debate all day about soulless beings or organic portals, but what I can tell you is that I do have energy. I'm an empath, I believe. I'm very sensitive, so I pick up on people's energies a lot, and people drain my energy a lot. That's why I have to just kind of like recoup. I'm more of an introvert, and I can tell you for sure that there are energy vampires out there, and I don't know how it all goes together. I guess it can be explained within the whole spirituality realm, but I feel like with spirituality, it's kind of a continual loop where it's kind of a self-justification thing. I'm trying to figure out a lot of stuff when it comes to spirituality, but I don't know. It's interesting. I like reading about it. I got some books about spirituality and whatnot, so yeah, the internet's great too, but a lot of answers are already inside you. A lot of times when I'm looking online, I'm looking for confirmation bias, but SoulCalibur, everybody, SoulCalibur. Yeah. So, I got the tablet kind of pulled up towards the TV because there's kind of like a letterbox thing happening where it's cut off on the left and right hand side. So I guess it's not widescreen. I'm not sure the reason for this, but it's all good, man. And this is just the demo mode as we know. I went ahead and just decided to play the whole intro because this game has its fans. People love this game, so, you know, I will honor that. I will tip my hat and raise my champagne glass or something. I don't know. I don't know how the world works, but yeah. Let's just play arcade. We've covered this game with the NTSC J version, so there's nothing new here with this review. It's just playing. Now that's Japanese Elvis impersonator, and his name is MaxiPad, and he is a crowd favorite. I guess all them elderly women, those red hatters, they really like Japanese Elvis impersonators. It's a fetish in Japan. Yeah, I was thinking about how I don't really like to cuss on my channel, and that's because I have a nephew, and one day he may or may not see these videos. But at the same time, I should be able to live my life and not have to censor myself too much. And I was thinking about how, like, women, they relegate the atmosphere, like when it comes to social climate and what's PC and what is permissible and what's not, they dictate that stuff. They love policing the environment, basically. You know, it's really kind of a shame that they have children, and then that gives you another reason to be policed, because, you know, you don't want to expose the kids to stuff. But is cussing around kids, is that the same thing? Like, I don't think it's a good idea to cuss. I think that it feels bad to do so, but is it kind of the same as lying to kids, telling them the white lie that Santa Claus isn't real because you don't want to offend them or hurt them, but at the same time, they're going to find out eventually anyway. How can we claim to love children if we are sheltering them from our true selves? Because sometimes when you express yourself, cussing is the best, most efficient way to get your point across. I mean, it is a word, you know, and most people know what you're saying, and like it might be kind of a colloquialism. It might not be politically correct, but I don't know. It's just like we should all be genuine people, and that's another thing. Like, women love churches, and churches are just places where they can, like, have pageantry and, like, show off their dresses and, like, and at the same time, like, teach their men not to be promiscuous while at the same time they're being covert about it. Like, they love getting off on that type of stuff. So I'm just talking about all kinds of stuff, but it's really kind of unfair that, you know, we have this thing, this construct called society, but it's just subdivision. It's part of that divide and conquer. It's been a part of the fabric of our society for eons. Well, not eons, millennia, or thousands of years, or whatever. But yeah, like, you know, church is just a divisive thing because, I don't know, like, the morals and dogmas and whatnot of society is just radically different from what churches are all about, because there's so many different types of churches. Church is the problem, I'm thinking, man, because, like, at the end of the day, you need to have inner spirituality, and the temple, the real temple, is inside of you. So what's the point of going through some brick and mortar church or going through some other person, this preacher person? There's no point. There's absolutely no point, and it just keeps you from your higher selves, and it just, like, teaches you to be subservient. It does nothing for actual good in this world. Free thinking. And, you know, getting back to talking about organic portals and stuff, I'm just going to pick a different character. You know, getting back to talking about organic portals, you know, I forgot my point, but let's pick this guy, Mitsubishi. But yeah. People are afraid of free-thinking people, and it makes them feel very uncomfortable. And are they programmed to be that way, or is there some sort of demonic thing happening within their person that gets activated when they feel uncomfortable? Because it's all about their sensibilities. Like, people are hateful of vegans and vegetarians because they have this perception that for some reason, if someone has some truth to say about health and like what's going on, that's a mirror being put up, and that person has to think for a second about their own actions. And people don't like looking in the mirror and introspection. But I'm the type of person that embraces that. And I guess that's because growing up, they thought that I was weird for being kind of like an isolated person. Like, I didn't like to really socialize with people that I didn't, you know, it's mission mode. Let's just, okay. Yeah, I didn't really see the point in being around people that sucked. You know what I mean? I know that sounds opinionated and crappy, but like I saw a lot of the preppy kids. They would wear the, you know, like polo shirts and khaki pants and shorts and stuff, and like the little girls, they would be all conformist and like too scared to do anything. They didn't really have personalities. So of course I didn't feel like I could connect with anybody. And then there was like the problem with racism. You know how in schools you would have, I'm just gonna get out of this, you would have the lunch tables, and everybody would be just free to kind of sit wherever they wanted, but they all sat in groups. You know, you'd have the outcasts, which was more like racially mixed. I guess the free-thinking people. I kind of orbited and kind of just made it a point to sit around everybody. Like, I would sit at the quote-unquote redneck table every now and then. Every now and then I would just go around and just sit with everybody, you know, like, you know, the black people and the preppy people even. I feel like the preppy people were more, they totally grouped together, but they were totally inclusive, and like they kind of had this air of pretentiousness about them. And this is just my experience, but it's different for everybody. But I just don't understand why people are not open-minded to, I don't know, it's just like when you stay inside groups, it's kind of like how MGTOW is like an echo chamber. You can't grow in certain ways. You can only grow once you're an open-minded individual and that you're open to checking stuff out. And I think there's a lot of virtue signaling going around where people say, "Oh, I'm not like this," but they really are like that because they care more about the perception of reality as opposed to actual reality. And there's something to be said with hard work and working on yourself and being humble, and you know, people react to sincerity, and you know, you would think that society would value this stuff, but they don't. They totally foster a, you know, this narcissism, you know, this pettiness. Like, society really incentivizes you to be a shitty person. I just let a cuss word slip, but hey, like I was saying, that's how I was trying to communicate, man. I'm tired of like having other people in my brain. I kind of hate being censored, and I kind of resent that because like I love this channel, and sometimes I can't cuss like I want to. I feel compelled to cuss or curse. I normally say curse, but that's not common vernacular. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally button mashing, but here we're not talking about the game very much, but I'm getting some valid points across, and this is therapy, man. Like, you know, my family does not understand that talking to them is a form of therapy. What they think therapy is paying a stranger to listen to your problems so you can be dealt with. And I resent that because, you know, I have valid things to say, and I grew up not being heard. You know, like, there's reasons why you feel like you're not being heard. It's because you're not. The things that you have to say are not being regarded. And it's 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 just difficult being the youngest male in a family. You know, you feel outnumbered, and you feel like nothing you say is regarded or held to any kind of importance because of the age difference, and you're outnumbered. So I feel like I have to fight against that, and I don't really have to fight about that. I can just be myself and shut them out because they're not placing any importance on me. Then they view males as just disposable and crappy anyway. Like, society tells females that men are these oppressors and that they have to, you know, like, men have to pay for the, you know, the injustice that men of other generations have done, when, like, we haven't done anything bad to them. Men have always been chivalrous and good. I mean, there's a reason why we got that innately in our nature. Is because through, you know, in medieval times, we would be chivalrous. We would, you know, do what we could to court women, and like, that's what we've been doing for eons. But for some reason, we got this negative stigma that men are bad, when all of the evidence points otherwise, you know? So, as a MGTOW channel, I feel really good expressing this stuff because it's true, and I kind of find it unbelievable that, you know, truth is truth, and when it comes to looking in the mirror, women are the most reluctant to do that, and I don't understand why it's like that. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because they're organic portals. They produce milk for babies, and that's a real world thing that's tied into this reality, you know. But like, ideas and concepts that men have to offer are not valued because it's not conducive to real child rearing and stuff, because women are built to be child rearers. They're built to be mothers. They feel fulfilled once they are mothers. But as men, we have the option to do whatever we want to do. But a lot of us want to be held as indebted. Like, a lot of men want slavery. And that's a problem about us men, is that a lot of us tend to white knight. And I see that as a cancer. And I think that we need to shame men for being white knights and having simpish behavior, and like standing up for women that have no honor or accountability. You know what I mean? Like, we really should speak up against that stuff, and quit trying to people please as much. And that, I'm guilty of people pleasing. That's why I stay to myself. I'd rather just kind of be invisible. I let a lot of crap slide just because I don't want to be involved. The way I see it is that I can kind of insulate myself from reality and just kind of, you know, be left alone at the end of the day and not really cause waves. But sometimes things need to be said. But this game, if I give it a 10 out of 10, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. What I'm saying is that if I don't, then it would kind of be an injustice because of the fandom. Personally, I would kind of gravitate towards I don't know, maybe it is a polished game. It looks really good, but maybe like a 9.5 personally, because I don't play it that often. I mean, there's other games that I play. I like different genres, but I do like playing fighting games with people. But I will give this a 10 out of 10. It deserves it. It deserves it. Do I recommend? Yeah, sure. I'm not, and if you're going to be enthusiastic about this game, I'm not going to take that away from you at all. This is a good game. I think unlocking the game, the game secrets and stuff, and all the artwork and stuff is more fun if you just do it legit. I use cheats and stuff beforehand, and it's really cool. The artwork is really good, and it's really good to have parity with the genders, where you can beat up women. I like that about fighting games. You can just live out your fantasies about just beating the crap out of some females. Now, modern day feminists would tell you, oh, that's bad. You shouldn't have to feel like you shouldn't. But I mean, we're led to hate women because women hate us. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, enough about that. I'm not trying to minimize what I'm trying to say about gender dynamics. I'm just saying, this
review's been long enough. I feel like my point has been made. So, yeah, 10 out of 10. I totally recommend. I appreciate you guys watching.